That was the setup. That was it. Hi, I'm Maya. I am a graduate of Middlebury, so I think I can probably relate to some of your experiences here at Con. I know what it's like to have a dining hall crush and to run into them in the library and the mailroom and the camel van. I get that? Anyway, I'm over it now. I've actually recently become something of an evangelist. Not a religious evangelist, but a podcast evangelist. And since the past is prologue, I will tell you how I got to be this way. So 4 years ago, I was in college, and believe it or not, I didn't really listen to podcasts. I didn't even have a smartphone. I don't think I Instagrammed during college. And then I left, and I moved to Chicago, where I had no friends. And that's when I started listening to podcasts. The only thing that felt like it could really help my anxiety at the time was to walk for miles across the city with my headphones on, being transported to another world through a podcast. A lot of other people started listening to podcasts around the same time, too. By 2014, New York Magazine called it the golden age of podcasting. And that was just the beginning of the podcast hype that's emerged. You guys, have you heard of Serial? Yeah. The This American Life spinoff, it has over 80 million downloads. It's been parodied by The New Yorker and Saturday Night Live and Funny or Die. Is that still relevant? I don't know. And Roman Mars, who's the creator and host of a podcast called 99% Invisible, was a main stage speaker at the TED conference last year. So my perch in the world of podcasting is that I work for an organization called the Third Coast International Audio Festival. We're this organization that listens to everything we can get our ears on, and then we send it out to the world on our podcast and our website, at our conference, and at live listening events across Chicago. So at this point, I'm listening constantly. I listen while I ride my bike to work, which isn't safe and you shouldn't do it. It's really fun. I listen in the bathtub. I listen while I'm cooking. I can't stop recommending podcasts to people at parties and who I'm taking improv classes with. I've taught a lot of older people how to download podcasts. I am a podcast evangelist. But here's the thing. I'm worried that at this point, there are so many great podcasts that some of them inevitably slip through the cracks. You lose them on the backlogs of your smartphone feeds. And you, as the listener, you're overwhelmed by an avalanche of choices. So I brought something to help you. It's called podcast therapy. Okay, now we're doing podcast therapy. So here's how it works. I need a couple volunteers. I need someone to raise your hand and share with us a problem that you're having. It can be a real problem. It can be a made-up problem. It's whatever you feel like shouting in front of this entire room. And then I'm going to prescribe you a podcast as a solution. So, who wants to start? Oh my God. Did you guys all hear that? No? She can't find a summer internship. Yeah. Have you been looking a lot? That's part of the problem. Okay, I think we should start right out with the most obvious podcast prescription for maybe most people in this room. It's a show called Millennial, and it's made by a radio producer named Megan Tan. When she graduated from college, she didn't know what she was doing, and so she started making a podcast about her life. So here is a taste of that. It's not happening. Let's see. I really want to play podcasts for you guys, so we got to make it work. Sound? Is anyone doing sound stuff? On the what? Okay.
It teaches you how to maneuver your 20s.
We got it.
Because I'm not 30 or successful yet, after graduation, I did what about 85% of most college kids do these days. I packed up my stuff, said goodbye to my friends, and headed home. You're listening to Millennial, a podcast series about what no one really teaches you, how to maneuver your 20s, captured in real time.
that's just a little bit of millennial. Yeah, Megan Tan is now in her second season of making the show. The entire first season is about her graduating from college and moving home. She has a boyfriend. They have very different jobs. She now lives in Maine, spoiler, I guess. And now in her second season, she's documenting the lives of other millennials. So check out Millennial. Okay, I need another problem. All the way in the back, kind of? You hate folding laundry? That's a big problem in your life? Do you have a lot of laundry? Oh man, dude. How often do you do it? Ooh. What do you do while you're folding your laundry? Folding laundry is like pretty basic, honestly. I'm bad at it too, but I really like this podcast called The Read. It's these two young people in New York. They talk a lot about pop culture. They're like super honest, and they give a lot of advice on their podcast. And they can be harsh sometimes. So here's just a little bit of Kid Cudi and Crystal.
I don't want to be insensitive, but it's just, I don't care.
Honestly, I would just cuss you out right here in front of your face. Like, I don't even want to sit here and beat you in the head with facts or argue with you every time you say something dumb, because your ass is past, like, what I would even consider to be teachable.
All right, I think you need a little bit of Kid Cudi and Crystal to motivate you. People also ask them, other things besides how do I fold my laundry, which is agreed. I'm honestly terrible at it. I just got a laundry service. Okay, does anybody else have a problem? Yes? Your cat won't eat its food? You have a cat? Oh. Well, okay, so for animal problems, I like to prescribe this clip from a podcast called Wiretap. Because this is a clip of a thought journal being kept by not a cat, but a different animal. So that was a horrible setup. If you can get your cat to maybe record how it's feeling, maybe play them this podcast to help set that up. Here it is.
January 19th, 2015. Food, exercise, and dream diary as recorded by me, Godzilla. 12:58 a.m. Breakfast. 2 schools of fish from Tokyo Bay. Calories, 782,000. How I was feeling when I ate this. Confused, irradiated, hating my size. 1 a.m. Exercise. Tail thrashing to destroy Bayside warehouses. 1 set of 8, slow pace. 2 sets of 16, medium pace. Repeat to exhaustion. Calories burned, 540,000. Not enough, Godzilla, not enough. 1:20 a.m. Snack. City bus passengers, 18. Driver fell out when I shook bus. Calories, 3,456,000. Feeling. Numb. Huge. 1:25 a.m. Return to bay. Submerge. Rest.
So that's Godzilla's weight loss diary. It's from a podcast called Wiretap. It actually recently ended. It was on the CBC, which is like Canada's NPR, and they do a lot of sort of surrealist, weird stuff like that. Let's do another one. Does anyone else? Ooh, you've been watching too much Netflix? Yeah. And you're bored already. Let's see. Okay. I want to unbore you. I mean, have you tried podcasts? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I will play you. Maybe I don't know if this will make these people seem cool or not. But this is a little. Ooh, I just got rid of my mic. This is a little experiment by some podcast producers. They produce a show called Reply All, which is a show about the internet, and they found this guy who supports microdosing on LSD while at work. And so in podcast world, I guess it's cool to try that at your office. So they started taking LSD before going to work, and they recorded the entire week. Here's what.
So these were the instructions. We needed to take one piece of confetti paper, soak it overnight in a bottle of water, and then drink 1/10 of the bottle or less before 10 a.m.
The next day, Tuesday, we went into the office, and things felt normal, like slightly different, but different for the better. Then it was Wednesday. It was my birthday. It felt really similar to Tuesday, except for one thing. When anybody would make a self-deprecating joke, it deeply disturbed me. It was like watching somebody slap themselves in the face really hard, which is weird. Also, I'd started to make unusually sloppy mistakes, like CCing people who I meant to BCC. And when I talked to my editor, Peter, he said that I'd written something that made, quote, 0 sense. That seemed like an indication that maybe the LSD was affecting me, but not in a real alarming way. And so the experiment continued.
I'm shaking it.
That could make a difference. And then Thursday.
Thursday is when we stopped wondering if what was happening was a placebo. It became clear that something was operating on us.
Cool. All right. I guess maybe I'll leave you guys with that like, podcast world is really growing, maybe going crazy. And that was from a podcast, by the way, called Reply All, that you can check out from Gimlet Media, which is one of the first of its kind. It's like a podcast startup, a for-profit podcast company. So after the show, I will be outside. I have a bunch of podcast recommendations that I can give you. And if anyone else wants some podcast therapy, let me know. Podcast Therapy is a live event that I co-created at Third Coast, and we have taken it to venues all around Chicago, and we're taking it to Orlando next week. And yeah, I wanted to just say that I do remember what it feels like to sometimes be trapped on a NESCAT campus, and I wish that I had had podcasts when I was in college, because they can be a great escape. And all you have to do is click on your podcast app and put on your headphones, and you can go anywhere else. Thank you.